Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Library Board meeting for August 20th, 2019. Let's call the meeting to order. It is 5:04 p.m. Will everyone please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. May I have roll call, please?
Aaron?
Here.
Michelle?
Here.
Tracy?
Here.
Barb?
Here.
Alderman Wolf?
Here.
Jordan?
Here.
Camille?
Here.
Gail?
Here.
And Tony is absent. All right.
All right. Thank you. Statement of public notice.
This meeting was noticed in accordance to the open meeting law.
Thank you. Public comment, not seeing anyone from the general public here this evening. One of these days we finally have to get someone in here.
Be careful what you wish for.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. We should be a little careful.
I mean, I'm joking.
We get a little off premise. You'll have a lot of people there.
Let's see, consent agenda. So it looks like two items in the consent agenda this evening. We have the approval of minutes for last month's meeting, July 16th. And then we also have to place on file the library financial reports for the month of July 2019. So at this time, I'll entertain a motion for approval of the consent agenda items, please.
A motion.
Thank you. And second?
Second.
Thank you. Further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of approving the consent agenda, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Are there any opposed? Are there any abstentions? Okay. All right. Consent agenda is approved unanimously. Thank you. President's report. No formal report this evening. One of these days I need to change that as well and actually come prepared with something to say. But I do want to welcome back Brittany. So let's
Thank you.
welcome her back. Good to have you back.
And thanks to Elka.
Yes.
Yes.
A big thanks to Elka. And with that said, why don't we move into the director's report, Brittany?
All right. Well, thank you for the kind welcome back. It's great to be back and really exciting to get back in the library world. Don't worry, I've been practicing my discipline and my policy just on my 2-year-old. So I'm back and ready to go. Thank you so much for your support of the library staff and of Elka's interim director. In my absence, I know that she greatly appreciated you all while I was away. So, director's report, packet page 14. And of course, welcome to Michelle and Alderman Wolf. Thank you so much for serving on the library board as well. So I'm not going to read through it, certainly, but I'll just pull out some highlights. We had more adults, 434, registered for our adult program than last year, so that number continues to increase. Just under 1,000 reading submissions from them, so that's fantastic. That Harry Potter trivia contest, I was not here for it, but 35 attendees from a demographic that we've been looking to, reach out into, so that's really fantastic. It was a fundraiser for the Friends of the Library as well, so that's great. And I think I can say, based on feedback from staff, that people in this community know their Harry Potter. So that's impressive.
I had one question about that, because when we had the board meeting that Tuesday before it, they only had like 3 people registered, right?
I know.
6 or something?
I know.
So do you know how, was everybody last minute, or
Yes.
did somebody here do a push?
Yes.
Or like, was it?
No,
That's
it
awesome.
was. I mean, this is the stress of programming. My goodness, is that people will sign up right at the last minute, and that was a lot right at the end. But whew, that's great.
Magical.
Yeah, very magical.
Or did they come to you with teams already in place? Like, were they getting teams together?
Maybe they were getting
Yeah.
teams together, because people did come with teams in place. And our long-running President's Book Club, they're out of presidents. They went through them all. So they switched to American Leaders, which I think will be a fun and nice a shift for them. We're still putting together our stats for summer reading for children, but, over 100 from last time, and, we register in the thousands, so that's really exciting. I came back just in time to have, I think, the snakes come. So
boy.
that was one of my first days back, so that was fantastic.
Wow, I
Was
did
it?
not see you. I attended that.
I was hiding in my office. I told the staff, I said, I know there's a lot to do, but I need like a day in my office to just figure my life out. So perhaps that was that day. Young adult, let's see, anything of note there. The escape rooms continue to be fun and exciting. I think it really blends that creativity and problem solving that we want to encourage in our teens. So I'm really.
We should have one of those at a meeting.
We should.
We can escape the room.
Yeah, I'll shut the door, and you all have to solve riddles. Otherwise, this meeting never ends. Okay, I'll make a note. I'll make a note of it. Let the record show.
All right.
Yeah, so that's exciting that they've been working on that. We do have September National Library Card Sign-Up Month coming up, so we will have some prizes for people who are newly getting library cards to encourage that sign-up. Dates of note, next library board meeting is September 17th. The system trustee dinner, that invitation that I handed out, is September 25th at the Ingleside Hotel. So again, just be mindful of that RSVP date if you are interested in attending. The Friends have their annual meeting on September 23rd at 7 p.m., which, if you don't get tired of me talking, I will be at that meeting as well, giving an update to the Friends about the library as well.
Do board members usually go to that?
No, I have not. But that does not mean that you cannot attend. Let's see, the 2019 action plan. So you may be wondering what I've been doing the past week and 2 days, and basically that there were three things: checking in with the staff to see how they're doing, and the building to see how it's doing, checking in on the 2019 action plan, because I can't be thinking too far ahead about the strategic plan without remembering to be in the present as well. And then, of course, the strategic plan as well moving forward. So our 2019 action plan is making progress. I will certainly give you an update on that as we get towards the end of the year. Big projects like the security camera installation, parking lot repair, meeting room carpet installation, and conclusion of the 2020 strategic planning process, which I'll talk about more in a minute. That's all upcoming. So I'm excited to get our parking lot repaired a bit. It has more dips than it used to, and the security camera has sadly become more important. This year I've had to call the police a few times, and that's a variety of concerning behavior from patrons, some parking lot incidents. We did actually have a small act of vandalism on one of the staff members' cars. Teens, nothing permanent, but still inappropriate. So, unfortunately, when I put in the money for the capital money for the security camera installation, it was a proactive measure. I thought, we haven't had a lot of issues, but it's smart, and now I see that it's important.
Did they know it was a staff member's car, or was it just a random act?
Unknown.
But
that staff member did have to have a conversation about the behavior, and
wow.
That's a common thing going on in the parks as well.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yes.
Is it?
The parks in the like Muskego Elementary too, right?
The two closed schools.
Yeah,
both
they've
schools.
had problems too. And yeah, at Park Arthur, didn't they have some trouble with
Yeah, I don't know
the,
which parks. I just know that
Park
we've
with
been
the
looking at
skateboard.
cameras for a
Skate
long
park.
time.
yeah, skate park.
Set on fire.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We had cameras already in Park Arthur in place. That's the start, and I don't know. I think the skateboard park or something. They're all going to talk to each other. So we have this going through all the systems. So we actually moved the budget up a little bit, and we're going to add more parks.
Yeah.
So will the library one go to the city's?
Right, the
overall
police
deal?
department will
Police
cover it.
department.
yeah,
Okay,
I'm gonna work.
that's good.
I'm working with Barb and IT right now to sort of get that squared away, and I'm gonna talk to the police department to ask them about positioning of the cameras to make sure we have a good angle. And we want to be careful. It's going to be on the entryways. I can't record anything of people checking items out. That would be a violation of their privacy. So, but really, it's a good safety measure because I would have patrons or I would have people come to me and say, this person was acting very erratically. I think there's a problem going on. And I would say, what do they look like? And all I could get was a description, but if I could actually see an image, then I could go look for the person and provide assistance. So looking forward to moving that project
I
along.
think that was part of my discussion when we talked about the cameras was to have something facing the people walking in.
Yeah.
And I think you didn't want anything inside the building at that time. And I think if we just keep stuff on the outside, you gotta have something with somebody walking in the building.
Yeah,
To correlate with what's going on outside, so.
Yeah, it's going to be in between the doors, so
Right,
it won't be recording their behavior in the building, but we will get a nice shot
Like a
of their
bank.
face. Yep,
Walking in,
exactly.
you got that
Yep.
store or whatever, although they put something in the store, but yeah.
Yeah. So hopefully it will be of assistance to us moving forward.
Do you know if the cameras have been a deterrent in any way?
Well, I know that they can be effective for the police department.
Yes.
So I don't,
But it's not stopping the behavior.
If you're, it's like gun control, if you're a registered person, you're gonna do it legally and take care of it, but the person who doesn't have the permits, the criminal, is gonna get a gun and do what he wants anyway, he doesn't care.
Sure.
Doesn't care if there's a camera there, doesn't care,
Yeah.
nobody cares anymore.
Does it let people know the camera is there?
We will have some type of sign saying that the
Okay.
premises are
Yeah,
monitored.
that might be a deterrent then
Yeah.
if they know.
Yeah, it's maybe for younger kids or something, but.
It's more of a challenge, probably.
It's a changing world out there.
It-
Everybody
that
has
is.
cell phones. I mean, everybody has a camera on them.
Yeah,
that's true.
It's crazy. You can get away with anything. And sometimes they record themselves doing it. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
that I've heard as well.
Yeah, that is always interesting. Lastly, the 2018 year in review. Admittedly, this is a little late. But what we like to do every year is, we submit to the state in February all of our numbers from the previous year. So in February of 2019, we approved the state numbers and sent that into the DPI. But then I'd like to create a more appealing version, something that we can hand out to, patrons and potential donors and, things like that. And so this is for 2018. It's the same format as the previous year because my plan is to have the format exist for the years of the strategic plan. And then when there's a new strategic plan, we'll reformat this to reflect that.
this is a once a year brochure.
Yep. And so this is from 2018, and so I'll do one again in 2019 and try harder to get it out a little earlier. But one of the exciting things, I wanted to not spend a lot of money on printing in color, but I have 2017 in front of me here, and if you look at the numbers in 2018 compared to 2017, we were up in visitors, up in ebooks, up in audiobooks, up in total checkouts, up in summer reading. Every single one of these numbers here was up compared to the previous year. So it was a good year in 2018. Served a lot of people, and that's exciting. Those are good numbers to see. So
And I think we asked this last year, does this go on the website or another?
Yep. It will get posted on the website. We just wrapped it up. Again, wish I would have gotten it done a little earlier. Next week is the capital budget presentations to the council, so I was going to bring a copy of this for each of the
Already?
aldermen as well.
Yeah, I guess, it's September.
Yep.
So we started already.
Yeah, oh, I'm sure you have, but I'm saying, wow, time flies.
So that's this. If you have any questions about it, please feel free to let me know.
So when did this one get printed out?
I just printed it out today.
This one?
Yep.
Because I'm not on the board. That
Yeah,
was
so
for
this
last-
is
No,
for
in the front,
2018.
Right,
Yeah.
but I've been on
Were
it
you-
for 2 years.
Right. So, which one? Let me make sure. Are you looking at the 2018 one?
Yeah.
Yep. And so you're listed on the board, right?
I think
That's-
we look
oh,
at
that's-
the front.
yeah.
I have the wrong one.
Look at the
Yep.
front.
Yep. You're.
Yeah, sorry, I'm
no,
trying
that's
to-
okay. Yeah, the
I'm
Friends
not
of the
the Friends
Library
of the
Board.
Library.
Yep.
Yep.
No, that's.
I was actually thinking, I don't know any of these people.
Who am I serving with? And so then in 2019, those of you who are new to the board, Michelle and Alderman Wolf, you will be prominently featured.
I have a question that's just weird to me. The, on your page 16, the stats,
Yep.
under meeting rooms, it shows that we're down 37%. No comment on that one way or another. But then when you look on page 11 of what we just okayed, of the packet page,
Hold on, let me
it
just get there.
says that we're over budget. So I guess maybe what are people more paying customers than how do you
Did
reconcile?
we close the rooms for a little bit last year? Was there a reconstruction on some of them or something?
We had to take one of the rooms offline last year while we were recarpeting the staff area. We had our story times in
Or
there.
something happened with that?
Yeah, but that was last year.
Yeah, but it's just year to date. It's showing a
You're
pretty
right.
gigantic number, but yet we're down 37%. So I was assuming that everybody was paying. That maybe that was the difference.
I think it would have to be. I don't have a perfect answer for you right now, but you are correct. We are. Oh wait, hold on. Room rental. Yeah, we are up over what we would have expected in room rentals for 2019.
Or
and
something's incorrect. I guess that would be the other.
yeah, I'll verify and make sure that number
It's
is
not
correct.
a huge deal. I just was wondering, are we just getting more paying customers because we're promoting the rooms, or is there a reason for that? Or?
Yeah, that's a good question. I will follow up. Make a note of that. Any other questions about the director's report?
So I guess if, for an example, what we okayed was incorrect, it should have probably brought it up then on the consent agenda. We just would change it for the next time around, right?
Yeah, I mean, if
Yeah.
that revenue number is different, then
Yeah.
I'll mention it next time, certainly.
All right. Anything else? Any questions, concerns for the director's report? All right. Thank you, Brittany. Moving along here in the agenda, unfinished business, doesn't look like we have any. So let's move into new business. We have the 2020 through 2022 strategic plan update. Brittany.
All right. So,
right.
what I wanted to do today is just give you an update on where we are at with the strategic planning process and what you can expect to see out of the next couple of meetings as a result connected to it. So, this timeline is almost exactly what you saw in the strategic plan framework from months ago, whenever I showed that to you. And just a sort of a recap for maybe those who are new, we started off in 2018 in October and November with a staff discussion of the framework. Then the Strategic Planning Committee of the board reviewed that data framework on the 15th, and that framework basically included a projected timeline, who our stakeholders were, who we really want to talk to, so we can make sure that we get the best data, and then the different data collection methods. Then in November and December of 2018, we presented that framework to the full library board, and that was accepted. And then the data collection period is the one we're currently in. So all of these boxes that are shaded in the timeline area are things that are ongoing or yet to come. So we are currently just finishing up the data collection period, which ran from January of 2019. It'll run through September 15th. And then we are also running at the same time, starting to look at the data and thinking about how to structure the report. So that will run through October 2019. Then my goal is to have a draft of the strategic plan in place by October 18th of 2019.
Isn't that somewhat aggressive because of the data collection? Or is that just only one
It is.
card, I guess?
So, and I'll get to that in a second because that is a very good point. It is aggressive, though. The Strategic Planning Committee will then review that draft and then possibly have a second meeting if we need to. And then we'll present that strategic plan draft to the full library board at the November 19th meeting, and then have discussion about it, and then hopefully vote on that plan with the full library board at the December 2019 meeting, so that we can implement it by the 1st. So that's the plan. To your question, Gail,
The whole plan is aggressive, so I guess just gotta keep moving on.
yep, so let's flip to packet page 18 for a second. So that data collection grid that we're looking at, as I mentioned in the data framework, I had listed several different ways that I was going to be gathering feedback from the community. They were focus groups, of which we've done 9. And then we had 61 people show up to those 9 focus groups, which is really fantastic. It's a huge improvement. Patron testimonials, which was us just asking patrons to give us short statements about the library. We did 3 sets of those and collected 457.
That's great, too.
The community feedback boards were boards we know people can be responsive to visual ideas as well, and so we put up different visuals on big poster boards, and people could come in
They're
and
the ones against the wall.
Yep. If you look on your way out, you'll see them. They could put dots and vote on what their preferences are for certain things. We did 5 boards and I did not count all the dots, it's just an estimate of around 250. The patron interviews, those were one-on-one interviews that I did where I tried to identify key stakeholders that I wanted to talk to, and many of you gave me recommendations of people to talk to, so I appreciate that. I completed 14 of those. The community survey, this is to your point. So all of that data collection is already done that I just mentioned. So really that September 15th date, when I say we're still doing data collection, I just wanted to see if I could get some more surveys. So I'm just letting that ride out until September 15th, but all that other data that we have,
Already done.
I'm starting to crunch and analyze. So hopefully October 18th, while still aggressive, will be feasible. We also did a teen survey that was specific for the teens, and we collected 269 comments about that. And then we have one material usage analysis, so trends in the materials that are being used, that we're still working on. But if you look at the amount of participants that we have talked to, over 1,400 different data points we have from people. Over 34 different data collection avenues. So I'm really excited about that. And I had mentioned in a previous document, I think, that in order to get a 95% confidence rate in the survey, I think the number was we would need 376 or 379 surveys. And we are at 354 as of today. So we are pretty darn close to that. So I'm, even if we don't quite get there, I still think that the survey will be representative of our population. So I'm very proud of the staff and all their efforts. I'm really happy with the data we're collecting. So that's going back to that previous page. That's the timeline, and certainly strategic planning committee. I will be in touch with you and giving you some updates so that we can schedule some meetings.
Are you going to want me to be editor again, or do you think because I came in numerous times to edit?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think it can't hurt to take a look at it, but hopefully something that I give you will be in a really solid place. Sure. And we're fortunate in that the framework that a professional company guided us with 3 years ago, I think is a really solid framework, and I think that hopefully echoing that, it gives us a leg up to start on the professionalism of the document. So we're not starting from rock bottom.
An outside pair of eyes who's knowledgeable can see things in a different way. That's
yes.
So
I completely agree with you.
So I would be happy to do it. I don't know as many times as I did last year, but
Okay.
chances are we'll be starting off on a good foot.
Yeah, excellent. Thank you. Thank you so much. And I just wanted to show this because I think it's important for me to be mindful of it. Obviously making sure that that stakeholder list that I talked about, that I'm not missing any groups. So this whole list was a list that that I worked on, and then you guys gave me some additional stakeholders. So you will see that I went through all of these stakeholders, and then I looked at all of that data, and I coded each of them, saying, do we have stakeholder representation from the data we collected? And I'm pretty happy with most of the representation. There are 4 areas that I'm still collecting a little bit more from. One of it is the library board. And so certainly we are going to have a conversation as a group about the data that we've collected from the community, but I also wanted your feedback at the next meeting. Would you like me to run the meeting like a mini focus group where I ask the same questions that I asked the other focus group, but to you all? Is that something that you would like on the...
I think that would keep it, not fair, that's not the right word, but keep the data consistent. There you go.
Perfect.
Thank you.
All right.
Do
So
I have to abstain since I went to a focus group and already gave you my answer?
You do not have to abstain.
Before I was on the board. Recusing me, whatever.
Take your recusal and leave the room.
That's funny.
So my-
So, perfect. I will add that as an item of new business for the next meeting. And then city staff, I have a department head meeting. I have a department head meeting on Thursday, so I'm going to see if there's any additional avenues. I did interview a city staff member today, but I'm going to see if maybe the department heads would be willing to take the survey and just give some feedback from their perspective. City council, I was hoping to trap Alderman Wolf at some point to do a one-on-one interview, although if you're going to be part of the focus group at the next meeting, maybe it's not necessary. So I definitely wanted to have at least a one-on-one conversation with a council member. And then patrons with special needs, I was still working on getting a few contact points, but I've since identified people in the community and have reached out to them. So I'm in a better place than I was when I published the packet in that regard.
So that won't bring you closer to October 18th. That was my concern because you had these 4 categories out that.
Nope, I've built that in
Yeah,
my
so
mind,
you're-
so.
Good.
But who knows? Hopefully I'm not being overconfident. Don't get me wrong, it's going to take up, this is my focus over the next couple of months, certainly, but has to get done, so. And let's see. Okay, and then lastly, this last box on packet page 18, this was not something that we need to discuss at any great length because these statements really haven't been analyzed. And they're just comments based on the survey, so it's not looking at the focus group comments, the interviews, and all that other stuff. So I don't want us to read too much into it. It's not like I'm making recommendations. This is just, I thought you guys might be a little interested in some of the things that are showing up on the survey. So I wanted to put that down. So I don't necessarily have to read through them all unless you'd like me to.
The one that makes me smile is the drive-up book drop. You remember about Joseph, how much he wanted our previous, no, you took over for Joseph, I think. So our previous board president, that was something that he really thought was critical, is having something like that. But I think you got to literally cut a hole in the building, and I'm sure it's probably not inexpensive. So
Well, we should have a drive-up drop-off handout too, so they didn't even have to ever come in.
Yeah, there you go.
We could do story times by the
story-
drive-by.
yeah,
Just
yeah,
put a
drive-by.
librarian in a glass box
Like
and shout at
Vegas
people.
get
And then
married
they can
right
order a
to the
burger and fries, huh? Yeah. So that just made you
Whatever happened to
smile.
exercise?
Yeah, it's only a
You
few
can have
steps
a
to
box
the book drop,
outside.
right?
The problem with the box outside is that in the winter, rolling one of those bins out in the snow and the ice.
You can't access it. You can't access it from the inside.
I
That would
guess
be the thing to do, I would think.
right. I would. What I think can happen, and I would have to talk to an engineer, and this would cost money. But in my mind, the clearest drive-up option, if we decide it's something that we want to pursue, is the drive-up along the building on this side. Punch a hole in the building and put a box underneath it. I don't think it would take a ton of engineering, just a little bit of.
I remember when I was young, I used to walk uphill both ways in the snow with no shoes on and carry my library books back.
But
I know.
think of all the gas they'd have to spend, driving around the building. You can stop in front of the boxes
My
and
goodness.
walk 3
Exactly.
steps, right?
I mean, I guess what you need to investigate is what is the real reason?
Yeah. What,
Is it just?
Laziness.
Yeah, laziness,
Because
convenience.
you know, they're used to getting their coffee at Starbucks at the drive-up window, you know, I
Yeah.
don't know.
People will waste the gas if you give them the opportunity, probably.
Well, you know, I
It
will
does
say,
make it easier, I understand that, you don't have a car parked out there, because I see the people stop, and, but, you know, it's part of the fun, you send your kid out of the car, if they got little ones, they throw it in there, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, what I've seen from the survey, and again, I'm not necessarily recommending this yet. There
Might
would
be
be
a
a,
good idea.
Understood.
it would
Might
be
be
a
a
cost.
good
The comments in the survey sort of, you know, I'm presuming it's coming from some people lazy, some people. We have a lot of elderly patrons,
That's what I was wondering.
and
Yeah.
they
Just-
it's convenient.
Walking-
I don't know if it's necessarily
Disabilities or
lazy. I mean, it's both, I guess.
And if
But
it
it's
is
very
a
convenient.
colder day
It's-
and
Yeah.
or a little, they're worried about the ice
Yeah.
or whatever.
and
I've
then
seen
people.
some traffic issues in the front. I mean, sometimes when I'm walking and I come up here, there's, a few cars that are
And what
to get at that
Would that
box.
make it easier for them to wanna get more books out of the place? That'd be a question to be asked, because they're coming in to get them. And they're not,
Right.
there's no
You're
complaints
right.
on you from that, as I
Yeah.
read that.
Right.
Yeah, the traffic out front, yeah, sometimes.
Yeah,
can
it
be
just wasn't
challenging.
designed for, if you had a curb cut or, something like that, that would have been
Yeah.
really
Parking lot.
great.
You
Right.
park- You should see when I parked that 18-foot town car of mine right out front to try to
I
drop
saw
some
that
stuff
out
off.
there today.
Did you drop some stuff off? Yeah, I'm taking up
Yeah.
some valuable real estate there. But you know what? I'm the board president, so
Do we not have a parking spot just
No,
for
there's
you?
no private
oh my
sign
goodness.
there.
Does he have a sign in his car?
we don't have anyone from the general public really listening to these recordings.
Yeah, there,
He's handicapped.
no, it is a tricky corner though, because where those slots, that is where the handicap parking is, and then if you have a
Right.
couple people queued up, everyone just gets trapped in that corner. And I even thought, I'm like, is there any way I can pave around the building? But
No, there's
I
just no-
think I've identified the cheapest way to do it. So it just depends on if it's a true need that we
I
identify.
think
Yeah,
people are
exactly.
losing patience these days.
Yeah.
It's, wait
That
your turn.
too. Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Because to me, better lighting might be something to spend money on versus how many people would use a book drop to. I mean, priorities.
Well, I know we're looking at, I don't know what you have in your parking lot, I don't remember what we did here, but we're looking at putting LED down Janesville Road, so I don't know if you're in on that. I know we're doing other areas too, so I don't know, it's something you might wanna talk to Scott about.
Yeah, in the building we've been slowly converting
No, I'm
over
talking
to
about outside,
LED.
parking lot.
Oh, you mean outside? Okay.
Should be a brighter, cleaner, whiter light.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is there any advantage at all to having the book drop literally drop into the building? There's a drawer that drops into, but not a drive up. So would that? Because to me, that would be incredibly expensive, because you'd have to tear a hole in the building in order for something like that to happen. Is there any asset to staff or something like that? Or are they just used to going out every day and it doesn't bother them to?
Well, they don't. So the slot, when they dump it into the slot, it goes into an interior room.
It does.
Yep.
Okay.
So they don't have to go outside to retrieve the items, which is good given our weather.
So then why would you put out a box outside? That would be weather issue. I guess that's.
Well,
where
I
you
don't
kinda
want
lost
to.
me.
I don't want to put out a box. What I would like to do. Well, I don't like to do anything. If this were a project we would do, I think the way that would make the most sense would be to put a drive-up drop. You'd have to pave right up to the building and have like a slot that reaches out of the building, like a funnel.
And technically, that's not what I'm asking. Is that there's already a slot that goes into an interior room. Why would you wheel a box out? At that you lost me there when you were saying it would be hazardous.
That's what I thought, that's what I thought too.
Michelle had mentioned like a box like out in the parking lot. Someone could drive up, and it has a long extender, and you just roll down your window.
Got it,
and throw it
got
in.
it.
Okay, I
Snow
was
in
thinking
there.
you were putting it in kind of the same area, wheeling it out to
no,
right
no.
like the main walk area.
And that
I
is,
didn't know if that was an option.
I mean, it is an option. Some libraries do it. It would be the cheapest option. I'm just
Now I
concerned
understand. Sorry, I was
about.
thinking
I thought you meant the
totally
existing
different,
one too,
so-
Okay.
like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
wheeling something out there then to get that would be,
Yeah, books.
on a beautiful summer day, it would be great.
Yeah.
I'll do it.
The only question I would have is if it takes up parking, are you gonna eliminate parking spots?
Not if someone told me I could get it on this side of the building, it would eliminate no parking spots.
I mean, that was something you'd have to look at, because you have to have so many spaces per square feet.
Right.
Per whatever, you know.
But
That's-
then, if I
doesn't
understand
matter,
correctly,
you
you
just
still
gotta
have to do a box, it would be an outside box, if I'm understanding you,
Mm.
where the staff would have to go out and get the books.
No, I would punch a hole in the
Yeah,
building
and
on,
it come
on the
inside.
outer wall, and then I would put a box. You'd have to frame it out. It would be
Okay.
a
And
change.
you'd
but-
access it from the inside.
Correct. Yeah.
And you would, okay, all right.
No, don't get me wrong. You'd have to pull the box across the library to get it to the circulation.
Correct.
desk, but that's better than pulling it
still would
across.
be- Okay, but it would still be
Snow
interior
covered,
over
yeah,
there.
driveway,
Okay,
yeah.
all right.
But
I'm sure
what-
you're looking at it. It just made me smile because there was always a discussion
Right,
about
yeah.
this years ago.
Yeah, Elka told me
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
And it's. We'll see. We'll see what comes of it. But what I'm really excited about is I always think I have good ideas, but there are some really good ideas that patrons are coming up with. So again, just having that outside perspective, having someone who's not in these four walls 40 hours a week say, "What about this?" and you go, "Huh? Can I pretend that was my idea?" So I'm really excited with the passion that our patrons approach to giving us feedback. So.
That's great.
So you wanna work more hours, I see that 15% of the people want more hours.
Do I want to? And Michelle has given me some good feedback about it. It's
Do you remember my feedback?
I remember your feedback, Michelle.
1,401 respond. It's making me nervous.
You are special to me, Michelle. No, it's we can talk about that. There are
Right.
major benefits to it and major drawbacks.
You know, evidently the cost will go up by operating.
Right.
And I think you guys reduced your hours in the summer or something, didn't you? Is it on Fridays? It didn't.
We're static throughout the
couple years
entire
ago,
year.
about right before you came, I think.
But I think they used to be open until 9, and now we're open at 8:30, so p.m. So I used to work at a library that was open until midnight. I used to work the 4 to midnight shift. I saw some things.
Yeah.
So yeah, that
They
is.
probably have newspapers there.
They did.
Is it a public one or a college one?
It was a university.
I was
So
gonna
Yeah,
say,
yeah,
then
sure.
Of course you saw it. I used to work at
And did you have
that's right. We did have cameras. I put in many cameras and saw many things. So yeah, so this is my plan. I just wanted to give you a snapshot so you knew that progress is happening and good things are happening with the plan. So
Based on what you're seeing, and because if I can have all this correct, there's no capital expenditures for this next year, or, because I know you're saying you're meeting on it.
Yep.
Do you see any collision with those two things at all?
So and Alderman Wolf, you'll hear a little bit more about this next week, but
I looked through the package, I saw
yep. So I was
a lot of furniture in there.
Yeah, lots of people like to sit. We did not ask, it was my recommendation to the board to not ask for any capital funds in the next year. There were two reasons for that. First, we had a large capital project last year, and so I did want to give some breathing room on that. But additionally, I did know from talking with Sharon that with the debt ceiling, we just wanted to be really responsible and just, make sure that dollars were freed up for some other causes. So it's not that we don't have needs, but I did want to take a year and be mindful of that debt ceiling. So we do have projects certainly that are waiting in the wings that we need to finish up in the years 2021 moving on. And as I mentioned to the board previously, this new strategic plan will reveal new projects and new ideas. So whether or not that ends up bumping some of our future plans.
But nothing for 2020. I mean, you don't see anything really pressing that you would ask for.
Well, we can't anymore. I mean,
Oh, it's a can't? Okay.
You guys approved the capital budget, and now it's
No,
been
I
submitted.
know we did, but
Yep.
say, are you seeing
Yep.
anything?
Nope,
that's-
they already have the packet,
They
so
already
I
got
can't
it.
go
Okay.
now and say.
Yeah, I didn't look at it that close, I just went out paging through other stuff, but I would just be concerned if you don't ask for anything, if you have maintenance concerns, you always make sure there's something in there to keep things rolling, that you don't have to add it to a different year, kind of look to spread that out.
Yep, and we did spread it out. So like
But I mean,
the
if you're not doing anything in this next cycle,
Mm-hmm.
you probably should have something in there.
sure.
You know,
Yeah,
because
and-
you're gonna need it anyway, so.
And
even if
that-
it's small, you know, like
Yeah.
fixing corners or rugs or something, you know, for $2,000, whatever, you know, you wanna
Yeah.
make sure that the aesthetics is right in here, so.
Yeah, and that's a fair point, and I know Gail expressed that as well. And you
That's
know
been
what?
my concern from the first time I walked in this place for the first meeting.
Yeah, and we do have quite a few capital projects. That's very important to me, building maintenance. And you know, maybe I played it wrong. Maybe I should have put in a
We'll know
request.
until we know.
Well,
But
you know, maybe the mayor thinks you can't ask, but you can always keep looking at things, you know, so.
Yep.
Maybe it's called the mayor's proposal, but it's the common council's budget.
Mhm.
So we do everything at that point, so.
yep, no, that's very very true. And like I said, we have money in every other year, and
Sure.
I'll be mindful of that moving forward.
Yeah, and I know you're doing the parking lot, you said, or whatever,
Yep.
but, you know, I would talk to Scott and find out, before you do your presentation, tell him we had a meeting, and I was concerned that if they're gonna do the LED lighting down Janesville Road, why you would not be included, and maybe you are, I don't know, I didn't dig into it that far, we had just a brief conversation, approved
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't
like
heard it.
$55,000 or something, so.
Okay.
What's another $2,000 or $3,000 to finish your lot and get it done because of the focus on energy rebate money and
Mm-hmm.
the reduced wattage, you know, your
When are
energy
they doing
savings.
that?
Well, it'll be next year, so I don't know, whenever they could probably start as soon as January, but it's cold out, you know,
Yeah.
they'll probably do it in spring, I'm guessing, but the sooner the better, if you ask me, they just gotta go up there and cut a wire and change a bulb, I mean, you know, electricians get paid to do that all day, so, you know, they should be able to get started on it, but they got their own schedules, and I'm not gonna tell them how to do it.
Well, I've made a note to follow up with Scott about
Yeah,
that.
just find
so-
out about your parking lot, I think
Yep.
that'd be a wise use of funds right now, and if we, I mean, just his savings alone that he didn't put in the budget on his money for the focus on energy money coming back, probably could cover your lot.
Sure.
So, and you can tell him I said that too, so.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's just conversation, you know.
Mhm.
And like I said, you might be included. I don't know, I didn't go that far in depth with them, so.
Yeah, I have not heard anything about it, but I will follow up.
One more thing out of the way, you know.
And as well, do it at the same time. maybe.
Yeah.
Especially when the rebate money's out there, you know, you
Yeah.
focus on energy changes, or sometimes they run out at the end of the year, and they do they do whatever they want, you know, and it's their money they're giving back, so.
Excellent. Anything else for me?
Real quick, material usage analysis. So, what are you guys exploring or looking at? So, are you breaking down materials? I take it by like type, like mode, DVD versus book, and then are you breaking down further, like into categories, like whatever, teen, adult? Can you go into that? a little?
Yeah. We had a lot of discussions right before I left about how we wanted to craft it, and actually one of the things that I was really curious about was whether or not we were seeing any trends specific to genres. Like, does our community tend to focus more on nonfiction, mysteries? I mean, we have all the stats that talk about, are they using ebooks, audiobooks? So that's not necessarily new numbers for us, although I do want to compare them over like a 5-year period and just see what the trends have been related to print, electronic, audiobooks, things like that. So that will be part of it. But I was kind of curious if the staff could drill down to an even deeper level and just see thematically what are our patrons reading.
That's
So.
where I was kind of going with that question too. Yeah, that'd be neat if you can really break it down that more in depth by like genre. It'd be
Yeah.
interesting to see.
Yeah, we're at the mercy of a software that doesn't organize data in the best of ways, but I'm going to try to see if they can punch the information out of it. So we'll see.
Oh, cool, thank you. I was just curious on that.
How many of these you print off?
So a handful. I try to print on demand because they do
Oh, okay,
cost
so-
quite a bit. So I'll print one for each council member, hand one out to the mayor, one for each library board member, and then I'll probably print like a stack of 10 and put it out at our circulation desk. for browsing
Or you have
and.
a bulletin board, you can flip them both ways and put them
Yep, that's
out
true.
there.
That'd be a good
The,
idea.
the reason I'm asking is I was thinking maybe on your next copies, you could put a thing in here if you would like us to send you an electronic copy, please sign up, and then you have a list, and then you can just shoot it out.
Yeah, that's a good
Push the
idea.
button and shoot it out.
Yeah.
And then also, the city and the school used to do one together, and they do it every, I don't know, every 3 months or 6 months, whatever. But if you can get in once a year with the city
Yeah.
and get even a quarter page, and you put something in there
Yeah.
with what they're doing, you might want to talk to the mayor about that. I don't know all the details, but I think if you're not involved with that part, you should be.
We are, although it's usually not statistics of our previous year. We're usually trying to advertise upcoming programs.
Okay.
But you're right, that is a very good avenue to.
And then again, I think there you could also put that, if you'd like, an electronic version of our, and then you can get more creative, maybe twice a year, and send something out.
Yeah.
You know.
And you actually, you've prompted another thought. We have an email system that our subscribers can sign up to with news and alerts. And I don't know if we've ever sent one out saying that this is now posted, but that would be a very good
there you
thing
go.
to do.
There you
So
go.
I'm going to make a note of that as well.
Right. Maybe if you do hang this up on the board, you can put a note underneath there if you'd like to make sure you're signed up or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm just thinking you want to get out as much as you can, because this is a nice brochure.
A lot of good information.
But like you said, I mean, if you printed a ton of these, it would cost a fortune, I would think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tying into the Alderman's question, do you have like a PDF version right now, or can you put one together and like post it on the website?
Yep, we always post them on the website. I just put the finishing touches on it today, or updated a few final numbers. So when my teen and marketing librarian comes in tomorrow, she'll add the link to the website. And then I don't want to forget anything. Post it on the board. You want to receive an electronic version.
And it's just ideas, you can do what you want. and
Yeah,
throw it out.
no, those are good ideas, though. I appreciate that. So add electronic.
But I just think it's a nice brochure that you might want to send it out separate as well. I was thinking, I mean, it's nice to post it, but people, they have to go to it, first of all, to have it happen.
Right.
So if you send it to them, they most likely will open it up. How far they'll get into it, I don't know.
Right, yeah.
Will it be a standalone link, like on the website, a file that can be
Yeah.
open with its own hyperlink?
Yes,
You know what?
yeah. So
Okay, great.
it'll be in the area with all. We have the previous 2 years, so the 2016 and the 2017 annual report. So it'll be a link underneath it. But if you click on it, then you'll be able to use that direct link, and people will open it, and it'll just go to
Sure.
this document, this PDF. So
Great, thank you.
excellent.
About a half dozen items up, and to the far right, there's a mention of the streaming film collection. I mean, I thought we were kind of sort of doing that.
Yes, that was. I did that on purpose. You're right. We did start the Canopy streaming film collection, and I still in the survey put, "Are you interested in a streaming film collection?" I was very curious what the response would be. You know, we had just done a soft rollout in January of Canopy, and as we were launching the survey, I thought, well, you know, our usage numbers aren't going to be strong right away because people are just discovering it. And if I get a ton of people back saying, I'm not interested, that might tell me something about the year, you know. So I was curious what people would say, and people were very interested in it. So it helps reinforce what we're seeing. The numbers are getting pretty good with Canopy, still within budget though, which is great. And even better news, our Bridges Library System, so the one that invited you to this dinner, will almost certainly be doing and sponsoring for our entire system a trial of Hoopla. And I don't know if you've heard of it, but Hoopla is another streaming film database, but it has more popular films and more recent releases.
Oh, okay.
Whereas Canopy, they call them culturally curated, so they're going to be older films and classic films, which is great, and it definitely serves a need for our population.
More like PBS, huh?
Right, right. So Hoopla is expensive, and so it's great that we're going to get a full year free trial, that the
Nice.
system is paying for it, and it will really be able to tell us if it's...
That might be premature. They'll tell you anything. I'm just thinking, I just saw a statistic on, God, I don't know, for some reason, I'm thinking 2025, but I could be wrong, that cable will no longer be, because everybody will be streaming.
I believe that.
And I know I stream
It's getting
everything. I
less
have
and less.
like 8,000 channels on my TV.
Yeah.
So I get everything, you know, showtimes and
Mm-hmm.
pay-per-views, and it's all streamed under one umbrella, and it's very, very inexpensive.
Mm-hmm.
And if I was to get that with cable, it would probably cost me 15 times what I pay.
Mm-hmm.
So you're talking hundreds of dollars. So I think that the streaming is the way to go. It really will be, and people will use it because they're looking for more alternative ways not to spend money on cable.
Yeah. Yeah.
So a year of, you know, it's good you're doing that, but I don't know what the results are going to tell you. It could be slanted. You could say, you know, it's not that good, because you're right getting to the point where people are just starting to make that arch to go downward to get out of
Or even to get TVs that
of
have
satellites
that,
or cable.
to have that capability. Not everybody has a smart TV, and if not everybody wants to watch everything on their laptop.
Computer, yeah.
So, but as more and more people start to purchase smart TVs, then that becomes
Yep, so that's another,
more of an option.
that's why I say it might be a little
Yeah.
early, but yeah, you're right.
Yep.
So I mean, it might tell you something, and it might not, is what I'm saying. Is so you know, a year is nice, but 2 or 3 years for you would be even better. You know, that would really give you a nice.
Yeah.
But it's a free trial that they're paying for? Isn't that an oxymoron?
No, it's not a free. It's a free trial to us.
Got
They're
it.
they're paying
They're
for
paying
it,
for it.
and you know we'll see. I mean, what I love about librarians is we're really good with data. So if we get to the end of that year and we're not quite sure it's told us enough yet, we'll have to make that decision about what we need to do. So
Eventually, it'll tell you something, but like I said, I think it might be early. I don't think people understand it, because when I tell people what I do on the TV, people have blank stares. I mean, there's a big procedure you have to go through and set it all up, and
yeah.
you know, it's not for the average person to do.
Yeah, and I know for our ebooks, we've had to create quite a few brochures for all the different devices to really help people get set up, and we should probably do that for Canopy, actually, and then we should do it for Hoopla, too, so that we can at least hand something out that has pictures and steps to, because it
There's
can
your
be.
broadcast again. Same thing with this. You can shoot that out to
Right.
everybody. Here,
Yep.
we have this news. Try it.
Yep,
And then they can just click on the link and follow it, you know.
yeah.
I'm curious, just item number 1, 85% of survey respondents from Muskego, obviously 15% are not. Do you have any idea, and I realize people submit probably anonymously, so, but where they're coming from and why we went outside of Muskego? Like, did we go to people who check out books from, you know, other communities and pick, and
Nope.
why would we, because to me that's a relatively high percentage.
You're right. People, and this is a compliment to all of us, we're so cool. People from other communities come to us. So I didn't necessarily go hunting for those people, but they come into our library quite a bit, and then they see the surveys.
That did it
It could
that
be a
way.
Wind Lake or some of those smaller libraries
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
coming to a bigger
So
source.
we didn't seek out a broader
Correct.
group than and got
Yeah.
fewer back, for example.
There were, I did do some one-on-one interviews with people from Waukesha County who work at sort of the county level, because I wanted their perspective about sort of the landscape of a larger area. But by and large, anything that I was doing interview-wise, focus group, that I really wanted to see what
So the
Muskego
survey
patrons.
respondents are 350, give or take, so that would be 35, about 50 people. Yeah, out of that group.
Yeah, and as Alderman Wolf said, there are quite a few Wind Lake, Big Bend,
Yeah.
New Berlin.
So surrounding community.
All right, so the next meeting, I will run a mini focus group as an item of new business, and I don't know if there will be anything else. I'm trying to think. Continued updates, certainly, about this process. Anything else for me?
What do you need from the committee, if anything?
Good question.
I
I
guess,
think
or
I
the
will. I would love. I'll send you all an email, because I would like to. I think I will know by the end of this week when around we will be able to meet. So just look for an email from me, and
Who else
we'll
is
go
in
from
that
there.
strategic plan?
Yes.
And then are you, going to be setting that thing like what dates are you available type thing? Is that what
Yes.
you mean?
Right,
Yeah.
keep this here, or is this something?
This was,
date?
that was mine.
Okay.
But I'm just passing it around because
Okay.
it shows, and then did Elka give you my report on this?
Well, I came back and Elka was already gone.
Oh, okay.
So she's coming back on Thursday, and she and I will meet. So I'm
Because
sure
I
she
went
has it.
through all of that and then gave the highlights of what each library was doing in the
Okay.
article, and that I think we were gonna wait and see if that's something that should go in front of the whole board or not. So in the meantime, strategic plan was
Okay.
reading it the old-fashioned way.
Got it.
So-
So can I
Be a
take this
miracle
home and
Yes.
bring it back next
Yes,
month?
that's-
I was going
I
to
will
say,
do
yeah,
that
that is
with my
with moving. Yeah,
everything.
that is
I have a new
impressive.
address. Do you guys need that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, you can email me, or if you want. Anything else? 6 o'clock. That's not bad.
We do.
I sometimes have a reputation for long meetings, but I've been getting better.
We'll cut you off.
All right.
All right. Well, thank you, Brittany. Thank you, everybody.
Yes, welcome
Great
back.
discussion.
Thank you.
No, they're pretty quick.
Meeting?
Yeah, yeah, they're getting better.
Communications and miscellaneous business is authorized by law. Anything under that?
Don't forget to RSVP.
All right. And at this time, I'll entertain a motion for adjournment, please.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Is there a second? All right, thank you. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain? It is 6 p.m. exactly.
Wow.
Thank you, everyone.
Tell me,
Great meeting.
what do you have for internet then if we are doing everything?
Why did I write notes on 2 separate packets?
Well, I actually went out and I bought a,
I don't know, why did you
called it Zero on the,
Thank you.
Zero on the,
Thank you.
Zero on the,